Hi, what are the responsibilities of a Scrum Master? Today we're going to be talking about the responsibilities of a Scrum Master. My name is Chris. Welcome to my channel, Everything Agile, where I try to release information or knowledge about everything Agile to help prospective Scrum Masters out there and even Scrum Masters that are actively working in the field become as successful as they can be. And just FYI, I release these videos every Saturday. I apologize, yesterday something came up and I could not do it. So this video was actually meant for yesterday, Saturday. So the Scrum Master is just one of the roles of Scrum. The PO is one of the roles, and the development team is also one of the roles. So for the PO, just he's actually responsible. He or she is actually responsible for defining the what after their collaboration with the stakeholders. They come up with the requirements and they decide on what the development team has to transform into a valuable increments of done, right? So the PO comes up with the what has to be developed, and then the development team, they actually craft out the how they have to transform those requirements into actually usable code per se. So the Scrum Master is accountable for establishing Scrum as defined uh, by the Scrum Guide. And these responsibilities can be further broken down into three. The first one being the Scrum Master's responsibilities on to the dev team, the Scrum Master's responsibilities to the product owner, and the Scrum Master responsibilities to the entire organization as a whole. So talking about the Scrum Master's responsibility on the dev team, is responsible for coaching the dev team on self-management and cross-functionality, right? So the dev team, they are expected to, decide on how they are gonna go about transforming those requirements into usable code, right? They decide who would work on what, and then nobody has to come and micromanage them, and they actually come up with their strategy on who has to work on which item. And then cross functionality as is also expected to reign in that team, because they actually have to have all the necessary skills that are necessary to help transform that code into a valuable increment. So the Scrum Master coaches them on if they are lacking in any skills, if there are testers there that are not actually properly trained to test properly, then the Scrum Master will be coaching and encouraging them to have all the necessary skills that are relevant for them to be successful. And he also helps to coach that team to focus on actually producing high increments of value, right? And not write code and say they're done when it's just maybe the UI part of it, and but not the entire code that can actually be used and demoed during sprint demo, for example. So he coaches that team to focus on producing high increments of value. Then the Scrum Master also facilitates impediment removal, right? During the sprint, if there are any blockers that are being experienced by the dev team, the Scrum Master helps them remove those impediments. He guides them remove those impediments. If they can't, then he might jump in there to see what is causing the blocker and tries to remove that impediment. Then he also ensures that every event that takes place has is very productive, and it's also very positive, and it's actually takes place within the time box. The Scrum Guide actually tries to prescribe or guide how long each event, whether it's the sprint planning, the daily Scrum, retrospective, or the sprint demo. There are time boxes for that, right? So the Scrum Master actually attends those events and makes sure that those time boxes are not gotten out of. Then the Scrum Master also has responsibilities to the product owner. So he primarily helps the product owner manage the backlog, right? Which is mostly the prioritization of the backlog to make sure the product owner is actually prioritizing the backlog such that the most important items, especially to the stakeholders, are being worked on first. So he does that in several ways. He can actually coach the PO on using techniques such as WSGIF or Moscow. So he uses such techniques to help the product owner manage the backlog. Another way he helps the product owner is actually to come up with a good definition of the product, the product goal, right? And the product goal is actually a commitment to one of the artifacts of Scrum, which is the product backlog. So he helps the product owner actually come up with a good definition of what the product goal is. What are they trying to build, right? So he helps that product owner come up with a very good product goal so that it serves as a good pointer and the kind of the North Star on what they're actually working towards, right? So he makes sure that he guides the product owner to actually write product backlog items that are very clear and concise, such that when these items are being discussed in like the backlog refinement meetings with the developers, it's very clear, and the developers can actually have a very clear understanding of what the ask is, right? Then he actually also helps facilitate some collaboration between the stakeholders and the team as needed. So he does that for the product owner as well. Then the Scrum Master also has responsibilities to the organization as a whole. He's responsible for leading and training the adoption of Scrum at the organization level. So he has that responsibility as well. Then he's also responsible for planning and advising on the Scrum implementation. So the Scrum Master doesn't only focus at coaching the team and helping the team implement Scrum, but he has to get out of his comfort zone and also get involved at organization level Scrum adoption activities, right? So he also helps the employees of the organization as a whole and the stakeholders understand the importance of empirical work. So not basing plans on guesswork, but on work that has actually been done before, and there's some learning from it before they can learn from and move on with adopting their future plans, right? So he preaches the importance of empirical work. Um, Another responsibility of the Scrum Master to the organization is the removal of any barriers between the stakeholders and the Scrum team. So there comes a time when it's important for the Scrum team to actually have a direct interaction with the stakeholders so that they can actually know what they want, right? So he serves as that bridge and removes every barrier that is standing between the stakeholders or the customers and the Scrum team so that they can develop exactly what the requirements, they can actually fulfill the requirements and develop what is actually needed and is usable by the end user. All right. So thank you very much, and that will be it for the roles of a Scrum Master. And if you liked what you heard, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. Also turn on the notification bell so that you won't miss out on any videos I release. Thank you and have a good one. Bye.